Hello and welcome to Where You're Not Entertained. I'm Daniel.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm James.
And today we are doing another kind of Halloween spirited throwback.
Big throwback.
Yeah, going to be talking about the 1988 Beetlejuice.
Classic.
For
Michael
sure.
Keaton at his best.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I mean, you can kind of say all of them at their best, right? Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Michael Keaton.
I mean, Gina Davis was at her best at A Long Kiss Goodnight. I think that's universally accepted.
Okay, fair enough.
I haven't seen it, so I'm going to go with Beetlejuice.
Oh, it's so good.
It is.
Yeah,
good.
but she's so good in Beetlejuice, and Alec Baldwin is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, he's so young, too.
And Winona Ryder.
Right. Yeah, I was saying, let's not forget Winona Ryder.
Come on.
She's amazing. I've always liked Winona Ryder.
Well, yeah, and Catherine O'Hara, too.
Mm-hmm.
She is such a good kind of zany.
Okay, well, we're throwing in Jeffrey Jones, too. Let's just...
Yeah.
everybody that's in this movie.
Toss in the whole cast.
Yeah. No, but they do a great job together. Kind of feeding off of each other, which is good to see in movies. That's not always the case. It is a very kind of small cast.
Really small cast, yeah.
Yeah. So you have a few like in and out characters that are, on screen for maybe a couple minutes or so. His old boss or whatever that comes in and I guess you've got like the guy that runs the barbershop next door to what's his name? Alec Baldwin's character's shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's trying to talk to him and he's trying to get in and out. No time for conversation.
Yeah, and Jane shows up a couple times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you've got Otho. We didn't mention him, but
yeah, Glenn Shaddix, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, Otho is very good. I love this movie.
I was about to say the person that likes this movie the most is like.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Beetlejuice. Yeah. I could watch it all the time, and
really,
oh my gosh, I listen to the soundtrack more often than I should.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I never even thought about downloading the Beetlejuice soundtrack, more or less like actively listening to
it. Right.
It's pretty great. It's pretty classic. I am currently wearing a Beetlejuice t-shirt too, so
yeah.
Nice.
I like it. I like the style, the way this movie looks.
I find it really strange that the soundtrack has so much Caribbean music on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, is it Caribbean though? It's all Spanish.
No, it's Caribbean.
Yeah, classic.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a musical expert by any form or fashion. Hell, I'm not even a movie expert. But
here we sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's great. You've got Tim Burton's very classically overdone goth type aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Super heavy-handed.
Very Burton.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. And the way that it comes in to just cover up all of their Laura Ashley wallpaper and LL Bean hell in the office.
Yeah. Exactly.
It was a nice house before they ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like faux stone finish they put over everything.
Oh God.
It's awesome. Just classic.
Weird deck that they ended up building.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just took like the sidewalls and the roof off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like one wall with a window, but you're outside. So that's
right.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have the, kind of the traditional Tim Burton gadget, I guess. So they have the machine that they show that's like in the front digging in the yard.
Yes.
obviously you see the sculptures and those sorts of things that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think fit his, I want to say persona. That's not
His
correct.
aesthetic.
Yes, thank you. His aesthetic. But it's really the gadgets. It's the funky, like, scissors, or, you know, the weird whatever. He just does a lot of those things. So it's not one of his movies until you see one of those doing something like digging in the yard. Like, what do they have? What is that for?
Yeah.
Who knows? But it looks cool. So
Well, and the sandworm, especially.
The sandworm, man. Going back, graphically, it's not as good as I remembered it was.
Whoa.
It's actually pretty low quality.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the time.
1988.
Right, but I just remember it more vividly. And maybe that also has to do with the cartoon, because the sandworm was a lot bigger part. It's got the Ghostbusters effect.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and listen to the old Ghostbusters episode we did, the old one by last week is what I mean.
Well, yeah.
Like it's such an integral part of what you think of when you think of Beetlejuice. Like, the sandworm is just a huge factor.
Mhm.
And it's barely in the movie.
Yeah, it really, there's kind of two scenes.
There's a couple of scenes, and then the triumphant entrance at the end.
Well, that's part of, I guess, one of
Adam and Barbara each have their separate encounters with it first, and then it,
right.
finalizes.
Yeah, and I think even with the office of the dead, or whatever the term is, it's such a great styling when you have your little messenger that comes out of the wall on a clothes hanger.
Yeah, he comes
and makes
sliding
all these
through
puns.
like he's at the dry cleaners.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as a side note, by the way, if you're listening to this and you haven't checked the movie out, you should definitely check it out. It is old. It is a classic. It obviously has its faults, which is graphics, but it is a great movie, and we will spoil the hell out of it.
And it was made 32 years ago, so give it a little leeway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, definitely the Office of the Dead. It was some of, in my opinion, some of the best parts of the movie happened there.
I think that makes the movie. Without that, I don't think that some of the weirdness, like stretching of their faces and things like that, would have really fit very well.
Sure. Yeah. That's true.
And that it would have just been kind of a goofy ghost movie otherwise.
Yeah.
But that's what really adds the Burton effect to everything.
Well, and Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Well, yeah,
especially Beetlejuice.
And Beetlejuice.
The styling, the green ick, or whatever you want to call it, all over his face, and just everything from the voice that he uses for this character and the way that he stands.
Oh, the colors. The colors were amazing that they used for all of the dead. Yeah, you had the girl that was behind the window or whatever. Miss
Argentina.
Miss Argentina.
Yeah,
she was green. Then the girl that was like cut in half, that Beetlejuice was, rubbing her leg or whatever.
Macking on,
yeah. Her being blue. I mean, it's a lot of really vibrant colors.
Speaking of the way Beetlejuice looks, one thing that I thought about while I was watching this was like, oh, so they basically just ripped Beetlejuice off when they made Rick from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
The kind of crazy puffy hair, total asshole.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, green stuff dripping out of his mouth.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess. Steal a character to make a character, right?
Hey, everything's stealing, right? No original ideas.
You're right. That's what they say.
Reinventing.
Unless you're Tim Burton, and then that seems to be all you have.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess so.
No, he's done some remakes. He did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, in a really weird way, man.
He did, but the core theme was still there. You still had the Oompa Loompas, and those are horrifying Oompa Loompas. Sorry. Right? Now that I think about them again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Way to bring that up.
Sorry, back to Beetlejuice, because that's less uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just great. Everything, even Adam's tiny town that he built up in the attic.
Oh, I love it.
It has such a cool Tim Burton feeling whenever they switch from painting over the actual town to painting over his little homemade town.
In the intro,
yeah,
it was such a seamless transition. That was beautiful. I was literally about to mention that because it caught me. I was impressed by the cinematography there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the movies that, like, if you just hate Tim Burton's feel to movies, then you're not going to enjoy this. But it's, I don't know. It's one of those things that even if you've seen a Tim Burton movie before and you're like, "Man, it's okay."
This one's different.
Yeah, this might change your mind on how you feel about Tim Burton and what he does.
Yeah.
It's a very fitting. It's just very fitting. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to make sure to mention, we already kind of talked about the scene for the, what was it, the office space for the dead or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whenever they first sit down, whenever it's the main characters, Adam and Barbara, when they first show up, and they're waiting for their number to be called, the burned man next to him, who looks like a smoker or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally looks like Groot to me.
Okay, sure.
That's funny.
Go back and pull him up. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
He does. He has like a charred tree thing.
Huh.
That's what he looks like. I mean, he clearly burned himself while smoking.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think all the characters in The Office were incredible. I mean, even the caseworker who's got smoke coming out of her neck. I remember the first time I saw the movie, that was the coolest thing to me. And then the football team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Coach,
I don't think we made it, Coach.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just a whole group of bumbling idiots, and everybody's amazing. There's not a single person that you see, even at the end when Beetlejuice is sitting in the office.
Yeah.
He's sitting next to the witch doctor or whatever he is, and he switches the numbers.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's just it's a nice touch to have a number that big.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Winona Ryder does have a real like Robert Smith going on though. She looks like she was ripped straight out of The Cure.
Yeah.
I think it was those bangs.
Straight out of The Cure. Yeah, exactly. It had to have been.
Every piece of this was so well crafted.
Well, and every piece of it's completely memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you say Winona Ryder, you either think of her in the all black carrying around her camera.
Yes.
Or you think of that red wedding dress.
Yeah.
Just every single piece in this is classic.
Yeah.
Well, in an overdone kind of way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, it's Winona Ryder in this was amazing. I love her character.
She's the through line for me.
Yeah.
As great as Adam and Barbara are, and they kind of carry a lot of the heavy load, if it wasn't for Winona Ryder's character, gosh, what's her name? I just drew a blank. Lydia, yeah. Lydia was kind of the heart and soul of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lydia Deetz.
For sure.
Absolutely the heart. The sympathetic story.
She's also got one of the best lines in the whole movie. She's talking about her stepmother. She's like, no, she's sleeping with Prince Valium tonight.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly.
See, even there, I'm like, which line are you going to pick?
Oh, well, yeah, mine is and I myself am strange and unusual.
Yeah.
My whole life is one big dark room.
Yeah.
It's so cliche and perfect, but it's almost, they kind of built the cliches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, well, and it fits the movie too, because everything in this is a little corny and a little overdone, but not to the point that it becomes ridiculous.
They pull it off. That's the weird thing. Like, I was just so taken aback when they like stretched out their faces and everything like that in the office of the dead, and then they're headed back and they're looking for the door that they're supposed to go through. Mm-hmm. They have this kind of like Barbara and Adam have this like kind of heartfelt exchange there while they're these hideous monsters. Mm-hmm. And it works. It shouldn't work at all, but somehow it's just really well done. It's well written, well acted, and of course the visuals are incredible.
You're right.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Well, yeah, you can't say enough about the visuals, or
no.
Even when their banister on the staircase turns into a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many like really cool little moments.
The Beetlejuice snake.
The Beetlejuice snake, yeah.
Since you're a huge fan of Beetlejuice, I'm curious if maybe you know the answer, because I just didn't bother to look it up. But so whenever you see his name written in the tiny town,
yes,
it's written Beetlejuice like the star.
Yes.
Which is like Betelgeuse.
Correct.
But the movie is spelled Beetlejuice like a beetle and juice.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
I'm certain there's a reason, but I don't know.
I'm
what
certain
that
there is
is.
too. But, okay, well, it's not like just a commonly known thing about the movie or anything.
My assumption was always that it was spelled that way, number one, because it's easier to know what the word is, but because that's also what he uses to try to get Lydia to say his name. The beetle sitting down, and then the glass of juice.
Beetle breakfast, beetle pour.
Right.
Yeah. So that might be wrong, but that was my thinking.
It makes sense.
Looked it up, I guess. How's that? How's that for an answer?
Come to Where You're Not Entertained, where we pose questions and don't answer them. Feel free to Google afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like because it's Tim Burton, I'm sure he has a thought and a specific reason behind it.
Yeah.
Because
it's also earlier in his career, so he may not have had as much pull with the studios. This is pre-Batman Burton.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could definitely see that being a studio choice.
Yeah, it's that is. I mean, it is a good question, and now I'm curious because you asked it.
All right,
like I had an idea, like that's just what I had always told myself, I guess.
And now I'm questioning your whole life choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I just
everything
wrong?
I knew was a lie?
We're going to leave you with a cliffhanger, so come back next week to find out why.
I still won't have an answer for you.
All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to cover before we got into favorite scenes?
I did want to say that it was also pretty cool that Michael Keaton was kind of let loose, which is one of the reasons that, in my opinion, he's so good in this role.
Mm-hmm.
Is because he kind of just got to do whatever he wanted to do. I mean, he had general lines or whatever, but a large portion of what was in the movie was ad-libbed by him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think especially when you get turned loose in a role like this, it feels so much more at home. Like, I think he embodied a super zany character like Beetlejuice better because he was making a lot of those decisions.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it didn't feel false or scripted. And it's just a really cool role. And the costuming was amazing. All of his plaid and then the Beetlejuice striped suit.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right in. So let's start with you, Rachel, since this is one, if not your favorite movie.
Yeah,
What was your favorite scene?
All right. My favorite scene, I have tons. I love the movie from start to finish. But I really think my absolute favorite scene is their dinner party.
Oh, I mean, it's
probably
the most memorable moment of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there is one other scene that's a very close second, but I think the dinner party, because the visuals and the way the shrimp cocktail jumps out and grabs their faces, and it's just...
Lydia's hiding in the corner laughing. Like, one part's terrified, one part's hilarious.
And Otho starting out with it.
Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara singing. It was just great. It was very well done, and the dancing looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it's well done as well. That's another thing. I mean, they were going all out. The choreography in that section was really well done.
Yeah, they did. Like, some of them actually looked like they were being like controlled, like they weren't wanting to dance and they were being pulled,
like marionette puppets.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool.
And it's another scene where you have the super strong visual of the house that she's curated, combined with the incredibly loud outfits that everyone at that dinner party was wearing.
Oh God, yeah.
And they managed to bring all of these bright colors and shapes together without anything clashing.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good choice. Definitely. I expected that one to be on here somewhere.
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel? What was your favorite scene?
So I think mine was actually when they died.
Ooh. When they're like actually dying, or like when they first get back to the house?
No, when they're actually dying. So when they're driving back from his shop.
Yeah.
Dark.
Well, it's just, I find it interesting because it speaks volumes about who the characters are. They've been on screen for a few minutes, and you know a little bit about them. They seem like nice, wholesome people, and being harassed by a real estate agent that wants to sell their house, but it's their house and they're trying to live there probably until they die. And little did they know.
Long past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the way back, they literally swerve and die as to not run over a dog.
Yeah.
They swerve off a bridge as to not run over a dog. And it's the dog.
No thanks at all.
Them plummeting to their deaths.
Yeah.
That is one of the best moments of the movie, when the dog deliberately steps off the plane.
Yeah. And sends them down.
Oh.
I'm just saying, they had plenty of time to roll down their windows.
Yeah.
All you kids listening, you start to fall into water, roll your windows down immediately. Immediately. Don't second guess it. Roll your windows down.
That's
our PSA.
Don't trust.
Never trust a terrier.
That's the real PSA.
It is. Yeah, it was. So I enjoyed that portion of it.
It's a good one too.
That their niceties ended up biting them. By a vicious animal.
A vicious animal.
I think that's kind of sets the tone for the movie too, because yes, they die, but it's not done in this serious, horrible, gruesome manner. It's kind of funny.
Right.
Exactly. So what about you, James?
You know me. I always got to go for the feels. For me, it was when they first tried to scare the family with the bed sheets. Just how poorly that goes into their first real conversation with Lydia. The way she is fascinated but totally unafraid. I don't know. That's the first time you can see that there might be hope of them coexisting.
Yeah. Once they kind of have a friend.
Right. And it's also really when Lydia comes out of her shell, because up until that point, she has been she played the total trope dark emo kid.
Right.
And that's when you got to see something a little bit more. I mean, she had the moment on the stairs when she got the key and she wanted to go go into the locked door and was messing around with that. And there was that kind of like Stranger Things interest stuff there. But I don't know. That scene was awesome. I love that scene.
Yeah, it was a great scene. And again, one of those really iconic moments you see pictures or sketches of when she takes a photograph of them and they have no feet.
Yeah. Your mother's going to kill you. Your mother's going to kill you for cutting holes in $300 sheets.
Well, let's talk about that Polaroid camera that she had that popped out film like every second. Where'd you
On
get
top
that
of
at?
that, the pictures
fire.
apparently enlarge. Because later in the movie, they're like full-fledged 8.5 by 11 photos.
Yeah. And they develop in 2 seconds. And
right.
Movie trickery, I tell you.
That's some technology, man.
I like that that's the part that you're talking about, movie trickery, and not the teeny tiny man that comes out of a grave in a model town.
That's just how the paranormal work.
Hey, at least they showed them digging up cardboard and
they did
like the cork board, and they had the foam.
Yeah, that part was great.
That
and
was
then
awesome.
When the dance club appears.
I love the oversized like fake grass that they have Michael Keaton standing on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they went to the trouble of taking like microscopic astroturf and then like making an overly large version of it so it doesn't look real anymore because it's up close.
Right.
Just little things like that were great.
I agree.
Yeah, again, those visuals.
Classic movie.
Classic. Check it out.
Definitely. And I do feel like we need to apologize to all you terrier lovers out there. They're not the worst. They're just clearly not the best. So, sorry.
Evil animals.
Terrible. All right. I'm assuming all of you, if you've made it this far in the podcast, have seen Beetlejuice. If not, do yourself a favor and go watch it. I don't think we really ruined a whole lot. And for a movie that has so many iconic things that have bled into pop culture, you already probably had the movie mostly ruined for you anyway. But worth a watch. Hopefully you enjoyed our coverage of the podcast, or of the movie. This is the podcast that is the coverage of the movie. And so, if you did enjoy that up until this very moment, please go online, like, and subscribe, and join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?